area. And so today on this episode of the Erin Burd Live Show, I want to dive into 3 ways to reignite your passion so you can go into each season feeling like you're totally ready to take on the world. Because let me tell you all, sometimes we can feel like our gas tank is empty, but we want to make sure that it is absolutely full. And so today I am so lucky because I have my friend Steve on. And if y'all don't know Steve, he's been in business for over 30 years. Him and Angie created the Dance Teacher Web Conference. He is such a wealth of information. And so I'm so excited to have him here with us so we can just dive into this topic, because not only do I see it and hear it coming from different clients and studio owners and dance teachers, but I'm sure he has as well. And so this is something that we're going to dive into. So as you know here, we like to learn out loud. So if you have a aha moment, a takeaway, I want you to let us know. Drop it in the comments below. So then any of those people that come in on the replay as well, they can see, oh, this was a really good moment. Let me like lean in a little bit closer. The other thing is, if you know somebody who should be here right now, hearing this conversation, feel free to sprinkle the love around, right? Invite them, tag them here. It is totally fine. Now, y'all know I am Erin Burd, and I do support dance studio owners and educators to grow their businesses by creating their own unique vision of success without the burnout, the overwhelm, or sacrificing your personal lives. And so if you're joining us live right now, say, hey, Erin, what's up? Let us know that you're here. I always love to know who is with us when we are having these conversations. Today is going to be going, hello, my friend. Hey, oh, I love sprinkling the love. Yes, 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 yes. Say hello to us. Let us know that you're here. And again, if you're coming in on the replay, that is okay as well. We want to know. We will come back in. We will come back to the comments and we will continue the conversation. So the other thing that I wanted to let y'all know is if you guys want a copy of today's show notes, just drop a passion below in the comments. We'll make sure to get you a copy of the show notes, which is also going to include a really special gift for y'all. So let us know in the comments if you want that by just dropping the word passion, because that's what we're going to talk about today, is reigniting your passion season after season so you can show up as the best possible version of you inside your classrooms, as well as being, if you are the studio owner as well. Hello. Oh, yes, Michelle. She's like, yes, give it to me. I want it. She's putting passion in there. So I am going to go ahead and bring on my friend Steve. And let me make sure that I'm doing this all right. Y'all know me. I'm going to be fancy here. I'm going to show us both. Let's see if we get it. And I think it'll work. Hello. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Oh my goodness. Steve, do you want to take a quick minute just to give them a little bit more about you and before we dive into the 3 ways? Y'all, there might even be a bonus tip, just saying. The 3 ways that we are going to reignite that passion. But why don't you just give them a little bit more about you in case they don't know who you are?
Well, my wife and I had an Adagio act. We performed all over the world, very fortunate to do so, for over 13 years. And then my former teacher was selling her studio, Mickey Williams. And we thought, hey, we were teaching master classes at different places all over. We said, let's go buy the studio. How hard could it be? Little did we know, it's not easy. So now, wearing both hats as both a teacher and a studio owner, you know, we know all of the ups, the downs, and all of the in-betweens, and including pandemics. But we're this September, we're going to be starting our 35th year, which I don't know how that really happened, but here we are starting year number 35.
Oh my goodness gracious. So, and with that, I feel like you just had, like most of us, we get these moments and oh my gosh, I have to share. Can I share one of the comments? It said, hello. Hey, Steve, so excited for this. So can I just say, like, everyone is so excited to share this and to talk about this. And one of the great things I think is that you started out and you're like, hey, how hard could this be?
Yes, exactly.
Attitude, which I like. But as you move forward, you're like, okay, well, it can be tough, but everything is figure outable.
Yes, absolutely.
And, right. And if we have support, right, we can always go farther, which is why I think you and Angie decided to kind of launch Dance Teacher Web Conference.
Absolutely. Well, we were doing a lot of teacher training with Dance Educators of America Teacher Training School.
Oh, yeah.
And then we launched our online Dance Teacher Web, and from that morphed the Dance Teacher Conference. And to be honest, we just love working with teachers and studio owners. They get it. We all walk the walk. We talk the talk. We understand. It's so much fun sharing information. 30 years ago when we first started, it was kind of studio owners were very protective of what they had, and nobody ever wanted to share. And we were coming from a little bit different angle as performers. We just never really understood that. So when we had the opportunity to do teacher training school, and then we had this brainstorm of launching Dance Teacher Web, just because we wanted to, we had this passion, going back to that word passion, of sharing ideas, concepts, and success stories, and even things that maybe didn't work out with studio owners and dance teachers.
I love it. I love it. So, of course, we're going to talk a little bit more about that later, but I want to dive into this whole idea of how do we reignite our passion when, the truth be told, the last couple of years have been so hard, right? And so one of the things that I think is so important for all of us now, this could be done over summer, which I think is absolutely mandatory. But I also think that we could schedule it into our daily calendars regularly, is to schedule in disconnect breaks and just 100% absolutely disconnect from social media, from the world, right? And just take a moment to, okay, I just want to be me. And what does that mean? And I think that we get so busy sometimes and caught up in, right, all of the things. And so sometimes just saying, I'm just going to take, even if it's a 24-hour break and disconnect, that could fill you up so much. Do you schedule in disconnect breaks, Steve?
Absolutely. And that's brilliant, because every year right after our recital, that next day we go away and unplug. And I'm going to tell you, sometimes we come up with like a whole plan for next year's recital, because that's when, all of that creativity's right there. You're energized. You just had the show. Many times we come up with our theme for next year's recital the day after the recital, because we just unplug, we go away, we chill out, we're sitting by a pool, we make sure we go get a massage and take time for yourself. Very important.
100%. And I love that. And I think that there's something to be said about that. There's this, you kind of, after a recital or after your showcase, you kind of have one of two options. You either let yourself go into the, oh, I'm pooped, I'm exhausted, right? Which is true. It's a lot of work, and you could sit there, or you can take that and use it as fuel to your fire and be like, I'm going to disconnect from everything else, and I'm going to lean into the feelings that I have, and how does that help your creative process? And so I think, yes, I am also with you in that after showcase, we take a break. We take a break and we make sure for us, we look at, okay, yes, are the creative juices going, right? There's that. And then right after that, I'm not even going to think about the studio.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to lean into my family, or I'm going to lean into my friends, right? And we're just going to do, so it's that healthy balance. Let me know in the comments, you guys, are you scheduling in your calendar disconnect breaks? I want to know, because if you're not, I urge you to think about how you can do that. And it doesn't mean that you have to disconnect for a whole week, y'all. That's not what I'm saying. If you can and you want to, go for it. But if you can't and you just want to start with, I'm going to disconnect for 4 hours. I'm going to disconnect for 8 hours. I'm going to disconnect for 24 hours. And you want to build up that muscle, go for it. But I want to know how many of you are doing that right now. And if not, how many of you are planning to do that? And how can you look at your calendar to make sure that happens, right? So I think that's a really important one to share. And then another one that I love to share is, here's the thing, and you touched on it just a bit, actually, Steve, is that I also, on top of disconnect dates, I also add in self-care dates, right? And this isn't just in summer, but I might do extra in the summer. And so the massages, right? Like I go and get a massage, I go and get a facial, right? Make sure we get, like doing those sort of things that fill you up. And self-care can look like different things for different people, right? So a massage may not be your jam, right? But self-care might be going to get your hair done. That might be your self-care. Self-care might be going on a hike by yourself. That might be self-care, right? So are there other little self-care things that you and Angie do over the summer or throughout the year in conjunction with those disconnection breaks?
Yes, absolutely. And one is that we sometimes do together, although a lot of times I do by myself, is take my dog and go to the dog park. I love that. The dogs run around, I did never bring my phone with me. And sometimes I'll hang out there for like a couple hours. We have this huge park. I can walk around and, it's so, then there's nothing to think about except seeing the dogs and how they interact. And it's like, this is wonderful. And they never had to wear masks during COVID. It was wonderful, right?
I know, right? I have to tell you guys, okay, this is a little off topic, but kind of funny. And y'all know me, this is what I do. So my youngest daughter is 9, and they of course had to wear masks at school and, and whatnot. And now they don't. Well, today is the daddy-daughter dance, the father-daughter dance. And the theme that they picked for whatever reason was a masquerade ball. And my youngest daughter said, I have been wearing a mask. And I know it's not over my mouth, not over my eyes, but I am over wearing a mask. I don't even know that I want to go. And I just started laughing because she's just so opinionated about this mask situation. But she's like, what were they thinking making this a masquerade ball this year? They couldn't go with 50s. But that's Peyton, right? Spot on. It was just so hilarious. So anywho, off topic. I know. I apologize. But so let's dive into number 3, which I think is so important, and what really a lot of us are going to want to know more about is that I really think the third part of this is to invest in personal and professional growth. Attend a conference, right? Attend a conference, because here's the thing. I think that sometimes, and you can let me know your thoughts, Steve. Sometimes when we're looking at wanting to learn more about something, we can look at it in a couple different ways. We can look at, oh my gosh, that's going to be so hard, right? That's going to be difficult. Do I have time to actually do this sort of thing, right? Because we're all so busy. And is it worth my time and my money, right? And what I know to be true is that when we do invest in our personal and professional growth, it does spark and reignite that passion. And so let's talk a little bit about Dance Teacher Web this summer in Vegas. So y'all, Steve, give them the lowdown. What are the dates for Dance Teacher Web?
It's going to be August 4th through the 7th, and we'll be out in Planet Hollywood. And every day is filled with really just everything from learning to opportunities to network, opportunities to unplug, opportunities to focus and hit the reset button, which I think is so important. As dance teachers, dance studio owners, we are constantly in giving mode. Give. But just like a battery, any battery at some point needs to be recharged. And I think, we all need that inspiration, whether it be business, whether it be creative. And we all know there's, when we go to a dance performance and we see something that somehow inspires us, whatever style it is, that gives us, that kind of food for thought. And some of the best comments that we've had from studio owners and dance teachers is that, they really just feel like that magic has come back into their whole being, and that they, maybe it's one count of 8 that they look at, they see, and they think to themselves, wow, it's just that movement really spoke to me, and now I'm going to use it, and I'm going to tweak it. And how dance teachers do, whatever they get, it's usually a little bit like clay, and they mold it into their own thing. And that's what we want. We want something that's going to be a creative spark or a business spark that you say to yourself, wow, I can use that immediately.
I love it. I love it. And here's the thing. It's about that. It's about having that like aha moment, that little golden nugget, and being able to implement it right away. I mean, I think so many times too that I hear from people say, oh my gosh, there was so much great stuff, but I don't know what to start with first, right? Which is a good problem, I guess, to have. But also knowing that, oh my gosh, I can actually do stuff and implement here right away. And that's one of the things that I love about so many of the sessions and the workshops that happen at Dance Teacher Web is that there's actually implementation happening while you are there, which absolutely makes my heart so happy. And let's talk about that a little bit more. Y'all can see I put the website on the bottom. It's scrolling for you guys. But can I tell you guys something? Steve and Angie have been so sweet. And I love Dance Teacher Web Conference with all my heart. And they said, you know what? Why don't we do a special thing for our community, for the Erin Burd community, the Teach Preschool Dance community, and offer them a discount code. And so I'm going to go ahead and put that in here in the chat for you guys as well. So if you want to attend Dance Teacher Web with me and Steve, you guys can come and hang out with us the whole time that we're there. You can do that. And he's going to give us $50 off of your ticket. So if you register by April 15th. So y'all, I know for you, some of you, spring break is already here. Some of you, it's coming up. It's coming up for us right before Easter. And if you're waiting to make your plans for summer, don't wait too long, right? I'm all about summer planning. I mean, we've had our summer mapped out for months now, right? Because I feel like everything's got to line up. So I will be putting that code in there. But I want to talk a little bit about some of the sessions that are going to be there and how they can apply to you. There's some that Steve is going to be offering, specifically on his own. I actually am going to be presenting there as well. And we've come up with some really great topics that I want to talk about because they're all things that are going to be so valuable. So valuable. Can I share one of the comments real quick, Steve, with you?
Sure.
Here it says, that was a definite must each summer for me to continue with self-education in the dance arts, the inspiration and love of arts, and to bring the newest and best to my students in the fall. Always room for growth, whether in business or in dance. Oh my gosh, so good. She absolutely adores it. We've had so much fun there. I know Michelle and I were there before with you. So let's talk about a few of the topics that we're going to cover there. So let's talk about social media real quick, because I know social media and marketing and all of that, it feels like it's always changing. It feels like you might learn one thing and then it changes on you again. But let's talk about a couple of things. So I know a lot of people hear about Facebook ads and that sort of thing, but what is the session that you're doing on Google Ads? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I've been working with Google now for a little over 10 years, and they've been great. We have our own rep, and there's a lot of great tips and tools that they've shared with me. And one of the things with Google that we really have found that's worked is it's different from Facebook. Facebook, somebody may see your ad, they may click on it, but they're not actually saying, they haven't raised their hand. But in Google, somebody's typing already in dance classes near me, dance lesson, whatever it is that they're typing in. So that's somebody that's already kind of looking for, they've already raised their hand and say, hey, I'm interested in this. So we've found ways, and again, I haven't come up with this. This is stuff that Google has said their top people have shared with me on tips on how to get number one. And some of it you do with Google Ads that you can do. Some of it is organic. The organic part, though, takes a little bit, it's a little longer strides to get there.
Sure.
But if you want to safeguard it, and especially during the prime times, during August, September, and October, we want to be number one right there on top.
Yes.
And it's not really that expensive. This is the beautiful part. I mean, back in the day, we used to do yellow page advertising, and you had to sign up, and your yellow page ad was there for the entire year. But now this is like a spigot that you can turn on and turn off. You can go harder, you can go easy. You can tweak things a little bit. You can see the analytics on this and adjust. So again, it sounds maybe if you haven't done pay-per-click ads, and I know a lot of folks have, but if you haven't, we're going to walk you through in this class. You bring your computer, and like Erin said, by the end of the class, you can have Google Ads up and running right there and then. And it could cost you as little as $5 and $10 a day. It doesn't have to be thousands of dollars that you're spending.
I love it because I have clients who ask me too about like, okay, I've heard a lot about the Facebook ads, or all the or even Pinterest, and like there's all these different things and what to do, and then but what about Google ads? And like, well, Google, yeah, and we talk about that. Yeah, Google, everyone is already searching, and so it's getting those keywords and doing that sort of thing. So I'm so glad that you're going to be sharing that information there. I think it's going to be great. One of the things that I'm going to be presenting is repurposing magic. Oh, because here's the thing. How much, like social media and stuff could feel like a full-time job. It can be a full-time job, right? And so I'm always about, let's work smarter, not harder. And so we're going to be talking about how to take one piece of content and actually repurpose it into multiple pieces of content. So you're doing less work, but getting more bang for your buck and your time, right? And so same thing, we're going to be implementing in the room. I'm going to show you some tips and tricks and strategies for that. And we're going to be getting it done there because I want you to walk away and feel like, oh my gosh, this is so easy. Right? So I'm super excited to be sharing that workshop with everybody. And then I also was taking a look at, at the lineup. Now I know the lineup, it's going to be released pretty soon.
Yes.
So I'm super excited for that because I think everybody is going to just love what they see. And then now here's another thing. I actually had someone bring this up the other day. So I think that it was like, how it's always perfect timing, but someone asked me about, have you ever thought about holding a fundraiser or a gala to raise? And I was like, hello, you need to come to Dance Teacher Web. So tell them about this whole idea of the gala, because I love it.
Yes. Well, I know one year a couple of times I asked teachers in the room, who gives scholarships? Everybody, of course, raised their hands because dance teachers and studio owners are the most giving people. And I said, okay, well, how many of you really do have scholarship funds, or how many of you just give a discount or free classes away? And then everybody kind of lowered their hands. And we've been doing this now for 20 years. And the matter of fact, we have it coming up this weekend, our gala on April 2nd. And it's a big fundraiser, and you don't have to be, a non-for-profit to do something like this. And we've been able to raise over $700,000 in scholarships. And if there's something really empowering when you have this money and a family truly in need comes in and says, do you give scholarships? Well, as a matter of fact, yeah, we do have this scholarship fund that we've created. We have funds that we slide over into then the studio banks. So, it's something that I think is really important because, especially nowadays, we get it, families are hurting, but we also know that studio owners, we're also running a business, and we can't be giving a lot of stuff away. when possibly we can do something that can raise funds. So it's just to give you a quick nutshell, it's a live and silent auction. We also have our company and performance group kids come. They'll do a couple of routines that we have. The show that we do is only about 40 minutes. Then we go into the live auction. Then the whole thing turns into a party. We have a DJ, parents can dance. We have an open bar. We have hors d'oeuvres being served. So it's a really fun night. We sell tickets to it. And then the big money comes in during the live and silent auction. So it's been something really great. And we're going to be having a seminar on that this summer on how to organize this, put one together. And it's not that hard really to do.
I mean, in a way, there's logistics involved, but you're throwing a party, y'all.
Yes.
I mean, like, we know how to party. But what good it can do for your community to be able to do more, to be able to make a bigger impact. And this is a vehicle to be able to offer more scholarships. And that just, makes my heart so happy while still protecting your profit. Right? Because y'all know I'm about passion and profit, not one or the other. We like to have them both. And so that is super exciting. Another thing I want to tell you guys is that I'm going to be hosting a workshop about your long game, right? About the business long game, identifying your big whys, how they change, really keeping those in sight and really laying out your roadmap. So when things get hard, you can come back to them and know exactly where you need to be. Because here's the thing. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? That's the saying, right? You eat an elephant one bite at a time. So it's the same idea, but we have to keep that long game in sight. So I'm super excited to dive into that as well. And I have to say that, Steve, he's going to be doing stress reducing tips for studio owners. We know we all need that, right? And going back to that marketing thing, marketing doesn't have to cost y'all $1 million. And so Steve's going to dive into some ways how to leverage what you do have, right? And create a marketing budget that works for you. And it doesn't have to be $1 million budget. And you don't have to be spending $100,000 a year on marketing to be successful. And so I'm super excited about that because I know that's something that everyone's looking for, right? And my last session that I'm going to be doing is, of course, I want to talk about profitable preschoolers and how to launch and grow a mobile program, how to get yourself outside the four walls of your studio and into some preschools, daycares, after school programs. I have a client who actually goes into active retirement communities and teaches there. And so we're going to talk about how to be able to do that and how to add that to your mix. So, I mean, y'all, those sessions alone, if I do say so myself, are worth the price of the ticket, right? I mean, like, it's going to be so much goodness that's going to be there. And who doesn't love to come to Vegas? Just saying, as all. So, Steve, I wanted to give them one little bonus nugget, and it's something that you and I had talked about, one of the things that you think is super important for us to do as studio owners or even as dance educators to reignite that passion. What do you think that one special thing is that we should all incorporate into our lives? What is it?
Yeah, I think it's every year, and we've been doing this, and we found that it's really worked, is hit the reset button. Just hit the reset button, look at everything that's going on, evaluate. And, evaluation can sometimes be a little painful, but you know what? You get through it because it'll help you grow and it'll help you see what really went well and maybe what didn't go so well, and how to keep things fresh. I think that's so important. Whether we're talking about business or teaching a class, keeping it fresh, not just for the students, but maybe more importantly for you, and that may sound selfish, but we have to make sure that I always like to say, to inspire your students, you have to be inspired. And that's not just something where we can, snap our fingers and it comes. Yes, we love what we're doing, but we have to find ways that we can tweak things, that we can freshen things up. It could be, at the front desk, maybe how you answer the phone, how you greet people, maybe some of your business operations, maybe trying some new marketing things or tweaking some marketing things are working. When you're teaching, figure out, how you can change up. Maybe your warm-up needs to be tweaked a little bit. Maybe you need to, obviously change your music and find some fun music things. One teaching tip, a few years back, I was just going through some music and I put on the Queen song, We Will Rock You, and bang, it's the perfect song to teach beginners pas de bourrée. Think of that beat.
I'm over here doing it right now. I want you to know.
And I have the kids and they sing along with it. And by the end, we say, we will, pas de bourrée. And they absolutely love it. And it's a great, try it and see. The kids put it on and it's the perfect, even the kids that don't really have very good rhythm can hear that. They hear that beat.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I love it. That was like 2 super tips in one. I absolutely love it. Y'all, one of the things I can say too is that, yes, there's going to be amazing sessions. There's going to be so much inspiration. There's going to be content. But something above all else is that you are going to be surrounded with people who are just like you, who understand you, who get you. Sometimes when I do my work, I have clients tell me I met my business bestie at conferences. Like I never knew them before. We live on opposite sides of the country or even in a different country. But yet I just instantly clicked with them in the room. Some magic happened, whatever it was. And then you have these lifelong friends and now they're like, we meet up every summer because we talk all throughout the year because you're just surrounded by community and people who understand you. And I think that's magical. And I think that's something that sometimes we forget that can happen inside the room because people think of networking, right? And as studio owners or educators are like, networking, well, it's not even about that. It's about creating relationships with people that totally get you and understand you. And so I don't want to miss out on pointing out what a great community and vibe that happens inside Planet Hollywood while we're there, because everybody gets to connect and they're like, oh, I see you, I hear you, I know you, like you're like me, right? And so that's absolutely a beautiful thing to have there. So you get all the goodness of learning, inspiration, impact, and you get to make friends or visit friends that you haven't seen in a long time. And especially with the pandemic, that should make your heart happy and fill you with joy. So I love it. I absolutely love it. So y'all, yes, let's talk. Okay. So Michelle said, oh my gosh, great information for us. Evaluate, reset. It's so, so important. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So let's just do a quick little recap. I want to make sure that we hit all the points. So let me do this. So I make sure that I'm like, I want to have everything on screen. I'm trying to be all technical, but let's go ahead. Let's see. All right. So let's do the 3+ because we had some bonus tips. The 3+ ways to reignite your passion this summer. And the first thing was we're going to schedule in the disconnect breaks, right? So go look at your calendar right now and find out where can I post in some little disconnect breaks? Where can I get away? Where can I recharge myself and my batteries, right? Which also leads us into self-care dates, right? So those disconnect breaks, those could be disconnecting from studio stuff, but focusing on your family or focusing on, you and your friends or, but also self-care is important. My mom always told me, if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of no one else. So the self-take, it's so important, right? And then the third thing was we were going to invest in personal and professional growth and attend conferences. So we want to see you at Dance Teacher Web this summer. I cannot wait to present these exclusive sessions there. We're not going to be doing them anywhere else. So that makes my heart so happy to be able to share this specially with you. And we can connect and have fun and talk all the things business and life related. And which leads us to that bonus, which was, yes, evaluate, reset. It's so, so important. See what's working well, maybe not working so well, or what's not bringing you joy anymore. Because if it's not bringing you joy, why are you still doing it? Right? I truly feel that way. And Steve, he's been so great. Him and Angie, they said, you know what? We're going to go ahead and we're going to offer $50 off on your ticket to Dance Teacher Web if you use the code Erin B, all in caps, 50. And you have until April 15th to do that. So we definitely want to make sure that you guys take that away. So can we just give a big thank you to my friend Steve? I can't wait to see him in Vegas, and for us to give each other a big hug in person again. But can we give a big thank you to him? I'm so glad that you came on and we were able to share. And let us know, we want to know, was there one thing that really just maybe resonated with you out of the 4 tips? And even if it was the super tip of, we will rock you to pot of brains. I love it. I want to know that too. And if you're coming in, oh my goodness, we just had, woohoo! I have been thinking about attending Dance Teacher Web. Thank you so much, Steve. So love it. Use that code. Come join us for all of the goodness. I cannot wait. I'm like over here planning all this goodness. And you guys, I am going to have a booth and I'm cooking up something extra special. And it's going to be so much fun. And we're going to, I'll share more about it as we get closer. Maybe I'll give you some sneak peeks, but it's going to be in addition to what we're doing inside those sessions. And I think it's going to be so much fun. So I cannot wait to see you. Let us know in the comments if you're going to join us at Dance Teacher Web. And if you're coming in on the replay, join in the conversation. Let us know as well. Steve and I, if you tag us, we will make sure to come back around and answer whatever questions that you have. And if you have specific questions about Dance Teacher Web, let us know. We want to help you. We want to make sure that you make the choice that's best for you, whether it's coming, if it's not this summer, if you can't make it work, but maybe next summer. Because Steve, do you plan on continuing to do these after this year?
Yes, matter of fact, we are re-signed for next year. We'll be back at Planet Hollywood. And one other thing I'd like to say is that obviously, if you come to the event, there's 5, 6 sessions going on at the same time. Everyone that attends the event will get access to the conference app. They can either look at it on their phone or on their device. And for up to 90 days after the event, they can review the material that they've watched, that they've seen the class, or maybe a class they've missed, but they want to tap into that information. So the learning goes long beyond and after the conference. You get that inspiration and keep getting that, that important information for the next 90 days, 3 months after the conference is over. And it's a judgment-free zone. I know that's kind of a buzzword, but it really is. You can take class however you want to. Some teachers want to actually, dance. Others want to do some dancing and take notes. Mm-hmm. Some just want to sit and take notes. And so there's no right or wrong way. It's not a competition. There's no students. This is strictly an adult event. We want to make sure that everyone, like Erin says, goes home, absolutely full of life, information, and joy. I love what you said about the joy part, because sometimes we do let these things steal our joy, and we can't. We have to really make sure we're focused on that.
Right. That's one of my things. I stand for joy. That's just, what I live my life by is like, does this bring me joy? Does it not bring me joy? And if it doesn't bring me joy, then we need to evaluate that, right? Yeah. What's going on? And yes, I love that. And you guys, I think that's so important to say, because there is so much going on, and there, like you said, there's up to 5 sessions or, different things going on. And you might look and you're like, how do I choose, right? Because there might be 2 things happening at the same time. And you're like, what do I do, right? This allows you to not miss a beat, right? And to be able to absolutely get the content from both sessions, even though you can't physically be in 2 places at once most of the time, you still can have access to that. So that's absolutely amazing. And the other thing that just popped in my head when you said it's a judgment-free zone was that I absolutely love that, because, people learn in different ways. right? And so, yeah, you have people are just going to sit there and take notes because that's how they process the information, right? And there's some, like you said, who it's a combo. They might do a combination and they're like, oh, I need to go back and write that down, right? So they don't forget it, or they feel like they have it. And then there's some who just want to be in the moment for themselves in the way of expressing and moving their bodies. And then they take that energy and maybe they go and make their notes or whatever in a different way. So I absolutely love that. And I love that energy in the room because there's so many different levels of how we learn. And so I absolutely love that. And it is, you're going to see, I think that amazing speakers and presenters and amazing attendees. And so you're going to only have an amazing event. So I'm so excited to be part of it. And I'm so excited for you guys. Let me know if you're coming. Because we'll continue the conversation and we will make sure that we meet up while we are there. So I'm going to let you guys go. I know that I want to say thank you again, Steve, for coming and joining us. I will be back here. You know me. I will be back here next Wednesday, same time, same place for another episode of the Erin Burd Live Show where we share business strategy tips, tricks, and we stand for joy. Right. So we're going to share some more next week. But until then, I hope you have a fantastic day, my friends. And who am I going to see in Vegas? I hope to see you soon. All right. Bye, guys. I'll see you soon. Thank you so much, Steve.
Thank you.